For over a year, I wasted more than 10 hours every week. All because I thought I was too smart to need help. I didn't realize it at the time, but my ego was quietly killing my progress. And when I finally fixed it, everything changed. And it's going to hurt you so much if right now you are making the same mistake I made. So, every week I edit these videos for you, right? And what happened was, I started about 1 year ago. And every week I would sit down and I would start editing videos. And I'm not going to lie to you, this was probably the most frustrating part of creating content. Because I love speaking on camera, I love teaching and giving you the lessons that I wish I had when I was younger. But what happened was, all of that came with the preparation and the editing necessary for me to deliver this content to you. So, editing, workflows, and using apps for editing. As a disciplined person, I of course stuck my head down and kept grinding on. I believe that it would get better eventually because my skills would improve. Now, one element that you need to know is that I started editing in an app that was beginner friendly. That was something that I researched before. But there were signs because I was still trying to educate myself. It wasn't something that I stopped doing. And there were many people mentioning this other app that I could use for editing and saying how much better it was or how it would improve the quality of my videos, but not only the quality, but it would cut down on time of editing, which honestly, this was the biggest part because editing took me roughly 10 hours per week. And if I would be able to even shorten it by 25% or 50%, it would make so much more sense for me and I would be able to upload more and spend more time recording and creating instead of delivering. But every time I heard about that app, I kept telling myself, I don't really need it, or I know what I'm doing, or this is good enough. And I was basically trying to convince myself that I don't need to change, that I don't need to adapt, that what I know is enough to make progress. This year wasn't easy at all because not only did I have to create content, deliver content, but I also was running my business full-time with 60, 70 plus hours of work per week. And there was a lot of frustration that came from editing and delivering videos to you. Not because of the videos themselves, but because of the workflow and because of the way that the tasks were structured, and that overall editing was just very frustrating for me with that app. And what do you know? Eventually I crashed, and I crashed hard. There was this 1 week where I felt like I couldn't do it anymore. And in this week I sort of said, let's take a break from posting videos, from creating content. Let's figure something out because clearly I'm not working in the most effective way possible. By, I would say, luck or by accident or whatever it was, I was just sitting in my living room waiting for another week to come. And I had this strike of inspiration that told me, hey, you don't have to change apps. You don't have to go to the new app immediately. You can stay with your old app. But why don't we check out that new app that everyone is talking about? And probably that small little decision, let's give it a shot, enabled me to triple my productivity in this time. You probably have something right now in your life that's costing you days, weeks, or maybe even months that you are ignoring, and it's keeping you from making progress. Your ignorance is stopping you from living the life you want. Suddenly, what took me 2 to 3 hours of editing took me 30 minutes or 15 minutes. So the trade I was getting on my time, the return on investment I was getting on my time quadrupled or like 5x. It was unbelievable. Let me give you the math on this. So 10 hours saved weekly equals to about 500 hours per year, which is 20 full days of my life. This wasn't just about software. This was about my mindset, because the only thing that's separating you from your goals is knowledge, and to be more specific, the application of that knowledge. That mindset of I'm smart and I know everything is just protecting your comfort zone. It's your ego trying to protect itself from discomfort and from feeling like you are learning something, and that maybe you are not the best yet, that you have some things to work on. I wrote down in my journal afterwards that ignorance was the price I paid for making progress, because I would have made progress so much faster if I didn't have those 2 hours wasted every week, but my ignorance stopped me from improving, from becoming better. Every time you reject something without testing, you might be stopping your progress. So let go of the ignorance and become a student, a lifelong learner, someone who rejects the common consensus, someone who tries to dig deeper, someone who tries to experiment and iterate to get better results. Quickly after that experience, I wrote it down to document it for myself, for my team, and also for you. Let me read you the tweet, the short text I wrote after that experience. You are ignoring certain things because you think you are smarter than you are. When you finally do them, you realize they are the key to making progress. Stagnation is the price you pay for ignorance. Staying the same is the price you pay for ignorance. Beginner's mind and expert's patience make you a dangerous person. And it's the combination of the two. When you can just soak in knowledge, like when you begin to learn something, think about how many things you're learning. And if you could keep that mindset right now in your pursuit, in pursuit of your goals, think of how much progress you would make. But there is a second side as well, because beginners are usually very impatient. They want everything quick. So we're taking beginner's mind and experts' patience, because experts are beyond anything patient. They do the right thing for a long time without stopping, and they never skip the basics. My question to you is, what are you ignoring right now that's stopping you from making progress? In fitness, that might be tracking calories. One of the biggest levers I've discovered to control my body weight and to control how my body looks is tracking calories, every single calorie. Meanwhile, many people are too scared or they have some crazy beliefs about tracking calories. And honestly, I know that this is their ignorance speaking. I used to be a fitness coach and I've seen people just run away from counting calories, which by the way is the most effective tactic for losing weight for anyone. This just shows you how people ignore things that give them progress. In business, many people reject buying courses and investing in education because they feel like they will waste money. But reality is, business, career, progress in your profession, all it takes is knowledge. And if you don't start investing in knowledge, the only thing that's bound to happen, that will 100% happen, is you staying exactly where you are. Not making progress, not getting that promotion, not increasing your income. In relationships, if you don't start paying attention to some things that are happening, it's so easy to destroy them, especially with people who you are really close with. Because if you don't pay attention to the signs that your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband or wife is giving you, then inevitably your relationship will fall apart. So put it down on paper. Ask yourself, what am I ignoring that's stopping me from making progress? That one decision saved me plus 500 hours? Think about it. What would you give for 500 hours that you can spend however you want? But it wasn't the software that changed my life. It was me realizing that thinking I didn't need it was ruining my progress. If you are building yourself brick by brick and you want to speak English fearlessly, work globally, and live without limits, subscribe. I share the tools, mindsets, and lessons that I wish someone gave me when I was younger. See you in the next one.